42 days. That's how long Larry Silverstein owned the Twin Towers before they were destroyed. He had just signed a 99-year lease on the World Trade Center for $3.2 billion, one of the largest real estate deals in American history. And then, in a single morning, the buildings were gone. For almost any investor alive, that would have been the end. But what came next wasn't ruin. It was a legal war worth billions of dollars, a decades-long rebuilding project that transformed Lower Manhattan, and a reputation that made Silverstein the most resilient developer in American real estate history. Now, in his 90s, he's making another massive bet, a brand new skyscraper, a brand new city, the same man, the same conviction. So who is Larry Silverstein, and why does he keep making bets that would terrify everyone else? To understand the story, you need to understand the man. Silverstein wasn't born into wealth. He grew up in Brooklyn, the son of a real estate broker, not a billionaire, not a hedge fund manager, just a kid watching his father help people buy and sell property in New York City. But from that, he absorbed one idea that would shape everything he built. In a great city, whoever controls the right land holds a kind of power that almost nothing else in finance can replicate. He founded Silverstein Properties in 1957. And for the next 4 decades, he did something most developers never have the patience for. He accumulated, quietly, methodically, building by building. Through the 1970s, when New York was in genuine crisis, when businesses were fleeing, when the city nearly went bankrupt, when serious investors were writing Manhattan off entirely, Silverstein was buying. The lesson he drew from that era was simple. Cities at the center of global economic activity don't die. They struggle, they lose value temporarily, but they always come back. And the developers who hold prime positions through the hard years are the ones who profit most when recovery arrives. By 1980, he had built the original 7 World Trade Center, becoming the first private developer to build on the WTC site. His reputation was set when the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey announced they were privatizing the entire World Trade Center complex. There was really only one developer with the appetite and the credibility to take it on. The World Trade Center was enormous, nearly 10 million square feet of commercial office space, concentrated on a single superblock in the heart of Lower Manhattan. The Port Authority had owned and operated it since the towers opened in the early 1970s. But by the late 1990s, their position was uncomfortable. The buildings were aging, modernizing them. New electrical systems, upgraded infrastructure, broadband was going to cost enormous sums. And a public agency with competing priorities didn't want to carry that burden. So they decided to lease the entire complex to a private developer. The timing wasn't perfect. The dot-com bubble had just burst. Office vacancy rates across Manhattan were climbing. Several advisors told Silverstein to wait. He saw it differently. If you believe in the long-term value of Lower Manhattan, and he believed in it completely, a temporary dip in the market is irrelevant, because he wasn't buying for next year. He was buying for the next 99 years. In July 2001, Silverstein Properties signed the lease. $3.2 billion, 99 years. One of the largest real estate transactions in New York history. And then, 42 days later, 2 planes flew into those towers. Before signing the lease, Silverstein had done what any experienced developer would do with a property of that scale. He insured it. He secured a property insurance policy covering the World Trade Center complex against catastrophic events. Maximum payout, approximately $3.55 billion per occurrence. Those 2 words, per occurrence, would become the most debated phrase in insurance law for the better part of a decade. Because when the towers fell on September 11th, one question immediately became worth billions of dollars. Were the attacks 1 occurrence or 2? If one coordinated attack, 1 occurrence, the maximum payout was $3.55 billion. If 2 separate events, 2 plane strikes, 2 towers, the payout could reach $7.1 billion. The difference, $3.55 billion. Silverstein's argument was straightforward. 2 planes, 2 towers, 2 separate strikes, separated in time. 2 occurrences. The insurance companies disagreed this was one operation, planned by the same people, executed on the same morning. 1 occurrence. What followed was years of some of the most complex litigation in insurance history. Multiple insurers had signed different versions of the policy documents, some using language that supported Silverstein's interpretation, others supporting the insurers. So the cases were split. Different trials, different juries, different verdicts. Some found in favor of Silverstein, 2 occurrences. Others found in favor of the insurers, 1 occurrence. The litigation stretched across years. Appeals, counter-appeals, negotiated settlements alongside courtroom verdicts. And in the end, after years of legal warfare, Silverstein Properties recovered approximately $4.55 billion in total insurance proceeds, more than the original lease price. But here's what most people miss. That money wasn't profit, it was capital, committed by legal agreement to rebuilding on the World Trade Center site. He couldn't walk away even if he wanted to. And the truth is, he never wanted to. In the months after September 11th, there were serious questions about the future of Lower Manhattan. Would companies leave permanently? Would office demand collapse? Should the site remain a memorial rather than return to commercial use? These weren't fringe concerns, they were real debates held by serious people. Silverstein's position never wavered: rebuild. The process was grueling. Political disputes, design battles, funding fights between Silverstein, the Port Authority, city government, and state government. At several points, the entire project looked like it might collapse under the weight of competing interests. But the towers rose. 7 World Trade Center opened in 2006, ahead of schedule, fully leased before it opened its doors. 4 World Trade Center in 2013, 3 World Trade Center in 2018. What had been a crater became a skyline again, and the neighborhood around it transformed. New residential buildings, retail, restaurants, daily life returning to a district that had previously emptied every evening at 6 o'clock. For Silverstein, the rebuild was the proof of everything he had always believed. Great locations are worth fighting for, especially when the fight looks impossible. It is now more than 2 decades since September 11th. The World Trade Center site has been rebuilt. The neighborhood has recovered. Larry Silverstein is in his early 90s, and he is still building. Recently, Silverstein Properties made a major new investment, a skyscraper project in Los Angeles. The timing is striking, because the office real estate market is under real pressure right now. Remote work has permanently reshaped how companies think about space. Vacancy rates in major American cities are at levels not seen in decades. Serious analysts are asking whether the era of the big corporate downtown office tower is simply over. And yet, here is Larry Silverstein, buying a skyscraper in LA. His reasoning is the same as it has always been. He is not betting on the market today. He is betting on where the market will be in 2030, 2035, 2040. The best located, most modern towers in the strongest urban cores will capture enormous value in the next upcycle. They always have. The same thesis. A different skyline. Most investors think in quarters. Some think in years. The rarest and most successful think in generations. Larry Silverstein signed a lease on the Twin Towers for 99 years. He fought the insurance companies through years of courtroom battles. He rebuilt Lower Manhattan when rebuilding looked impossible. And he is still placing new bets on new cities today. Not because the timing is always perfect, not because the market always cooperates, but because he has spent his entire career believing one thing with complete conviction. Great cities and the buildings at their center will always be worth the longest bet. The skyline is built by people willing to take the longest view,